Why LLM? All of us.
That's not my answer, please. I don't know. I think it was underrated. Harvard of the East for a reason. Arrogant, very rude, and very, very unprofessional. Expect the unexpected. How I did my preparation was majorly about freedom and voicing out my opinions as such.
Namaste dosto, let's open the courtroom. Welcome to the very first episode of Let's Talk Everything. मैं हूँ निर्मल कुमार जैन, aka your law partner. Today we are opening the courtroom to talk about जो CLAT PG लिखने का सोच रहे हैं, LLM के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, NLSIU के बारे में सोच रहे हैं. Whoever is thinking whether to write CLAT PG, want to join NLSIU, how to join eligibility criteria, and want to know more in detail, this video is for you. Let's rewind to law school. I had this one classmate, a CR, a friend, who were always multitasking. From teachers' chambers to moot court rooms, from cultural events to class notes. Fast forward to today, she has cracked CLAT PG. Today we have Madhura Aradhya, who is my former classmate, CR, and a friend. वक्त का चक्कर भी देखिए. She has hustled in corporate job. She has started her practicing career, and now again she is student in none other than India's elite law school, NLSIU Bangalore. If you are confused, LLM is better option for your life or not, and if you are in litigation, or if you're still in your 5-year or 3-year law school, and you want to pursue LLM directly after law school, this is for you. And if you are confused, and if you just want to know what is LLM and what is NLSIU, this video is for you. And also, before we move forward, there is a surprise for everyone. All the viewers, you will come to know about the surprise maybe in between the show or maybe in the end. So be with us. So fasten your rope, sip your chai or coffee, क्योंकि courtroom अभी खुला है. So Madhura, let's open. Before we open the courtroom, you would like to introduce yourself to our audience briefly, like in 1 or 2 lines.
So, hi everyone. I am Madhura Aradhya. I am currently in National Law School, Bangalore, pursuing my master's. I graduated in the year 2023 from Karnataka State Law University, post which I practiced for a brief period of 1 year. I was into litigation, after which I decided to continue my master's, and here I am.
Thank you for introducing. The first ultimate question I have, many of our friends will also have. Why LLM? All of a sudden, when you have started job, you were in a corporate, then you shifted to practice, then now you're back again as a student. Why? The ultimate question.
Okay, so why I chose LLM at this point in my career trajectory is because I was not, to be very honest, I was not really satisfied with the brand name or the tag that I had before. Sorry for being sorry for being very upfront about it, but that is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Wow.
And moreover, I think LLM gives you that insight into a specialized field or a specialized trajectory that can help you grow better in that particular aspect, right? So that is why I chose to do the LLM at this point.
At this point. Yeah, honest answer. Appreciate it. Okay, as you told about the brand tag, brand name, there are many NLU national law universities in India. Why specifically Bangalore? What was the USP?
Because it's NLS Bangalore.
NLS Bangalore is the elite law school in India.
And it's the top one NLU. It's also called Harvard of the East for a reason.
Ooh.
So it's called the Harvard of the East because it's the best law school in the country. And when NLS calls, you can't say no. So that is why I chose to.
That's real. That's the honest. So basically, a brand name you wanted.
Yeah, and like I said, brand name is one thing. That's a given that you get without even asking for it when you get into NLSIU. And the other thing is, I think the whole experience at NLS would be the most enriching experience that I would get in my life. And I think every law student should be able to experience this.
Right.
So I was looking forward to the experience as well.
Before I started my 5-year law, I was researching where should I join. I was like, there was an article which showed that NLSIU. I was like, oh, okay, we'll join. I was like checking eligibility criteria and it was like, you have to write CLAT. There's so many things. Then I was like, no, I will just go to a law college which is near me home. And now I ended up in BMS. So let's go technical now. So you are into NLSIU, but how did you join? What are the eligibility criteria?
Okay, I got into NLSIU through CLAT PG, which is Common Law Entrance Exam or Common Law Admission Test for post graduation. So the criteria basically is that you should have an undergraduate degree from a recognized law institution. That's pretty much the only criteria. Post which, if you clear the exam, you will get into NLSIU provided you get a good rank.
What is the cutoff? I want.
Okay. So I'm not really sure of the entire cutoff because there are different set of cutoffs for the general category, for the OBC, for the SCs, for the STs, and the PWDs as well.
Reservation for Karnataka students also, right?
So this is the normal criteria. So the CLAT consortium has this thing called vertical and horizontal reservation as well. So there is a domicile reservation that is there for every NLU all across India that is provided by the CLAT consortium itself. Apart from that, they have women category reservations as well. I'm not sure if that's there in all the NLUs, but at least NLS that's there. So these are the normal criteria that are there for you to get into NLS. So for general category, at least under AIR 200 is preferred for you to be at NLS, at least for CLAT PG, that is the normal general cutoff. But again, given the domicile and the horizontal reservation that I was mentioning about, it can go up to 1,000 or 1,200, I believe, was the cutoff this year for general category at least. So based on that, you will have to make your preparations accordingly. At least when I was doing my preparation, I knew I had the domicile and the women reservation advantage. So I did not have to get under AIR 50 or 100. So that was also a calculated move. Like you can't simply make
you are a lawyer, you have to strategize yourself.
Yeah, because I did not have the time or the freedom to study so much that I get a rank under AIR 50 or 100. So I had it in mind that the previous year cutoff was also 1,000 to 1,200 for the general category. So I had to make sure that my rank is somewhere. To be on the safer side, I kept my upper limit as under AIR 500. And then I thought of it like in case I miss the margin, it has to be somewhere under AIR 1,000 and not anywhere above that, because I would risk the chance of not getting into NLS. So for me, it was either I get into NLS Bangalore or no, because I was already practicing, and it at this point in time, it was either the best or nothing for me.
So you wanted the best option and not anything else.
So I had applied for IVs as well. So when I decided I wanted to do the LLM, it was either the best in the country or best in India. That is what I had in mind, because I was majorly getting into the LLM thing for a particular reason, maybe the exposure and the experience it gives me, and the value from the institution that I get, right? So that is one thing that I was looking at. So it was either the best in the world or best in the country. So I had applied to Harvard, Cambridge, and Oxford as well. But my applications were rejected for, I don't know, they don't have like a criteria to reject or something. But they in turn required a lot of international exposure, which I did not have, either from my UG or from my work experience. I think because of which I did not get through. To be honest, I was very disappointed because I thought I would be at least waitlisted from one of the institutions. But then I think it's fair given the kind of exposure I've had there are better students, because if you see the cohort and international best colleges, law colleges all over the world, they have current judges, they have current Supreme Court judges from all over the world coming there to do the best.
A former CJID
Right,
was also
right.
from
So my competition is not here, but throughout the
throughout the
world.
world. Yeah.
So I think it was a fair shot. I just wanted to do it, so I just
You
did
wanted
it.
to try and
Yeah, and now I don't regret that I did not try it. So that is one thing. But in turn, CLAT I gave and I got in.
So basically, you have to try. Without trying, you will not get anything. She tried in Ivy League, she tried in NLSIU Bangalore, and she got into NLS. She told about CLAT. So we want to know what was the strategy, how did you prepare for CLAT PG?
Okay. So to be very honest, I did not have a lot of time on my hands while I was doing my preparation. Like, I was working, so I had to make sure that I took out like at least 3 to 4 hours in my day only for the CLAT preparation. I did not give more than 4 hours in a day for 2 months. My preparation was only for 2 months.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I did not have a pre-thought that I wanted to give it. It was a very sudden decision. I was checking the news, and then there was a notification about CLAT PG. The applications are out. This is the deadline and stuff. So that is when I decided I'll prepare for it. Only during the month of September end to November was my preparation.
2024, right?
Yeah, 2024 September end to November, because the exam was on December 1st, 2024. So I made sure I took out 4 hours every day. How I did my preparation was majorly about taking out. Initially, I started with making sure my basic concepts of every subject is right. Because if you look at the CLAT PG pattern, they majorly ask about test your understanding of the subjects, and it covers all the subjects. There is no such thing as there's focus only on particular subjects like constitution or criminal, and they leave out environmental law, public international law. This is a full-fledged paper where all the subjects are covered. So I had to make sure I had a basic understanding of everything, make my fundamentals right. So I took 1 month in making my fundamental understanding or basic understanding of the subjects right. So I basically had to revise my entire UG in a month. So I did that, and then the next following month I took out time to read the judgments, the recent judgments of that particular year, and 4 to 5 years before that year as well, because that is the pattern that's normally followed for PG. If you look at the paper, it's normally judgment based. They give an extract and they ask questions based on that particular extract, relating that to a particular legal principle. So that is a normal pattern. I took the 1 month to study the recent judgments, the landmark judgments, and the judgments from the past 5 years. So that was pretty much it. And the most important thing was I gave a lot of mocks. I did it from day one, because I wanted to know where I stood.
Where do you stand?
When I gave the first exam only, I was convinced that it's doable, because you get a fair idea as to where you stand
without
with
preparation.
The people.
Preparation
Right. So I started it from day one, so that I knew, and I get hold of what I'm going to do as well. So that was my major.
The whole strategy behind it.
Yeah.
I hope our viewers have written a notes about how did she prepare mock exams, clearing your basics first. Without basics, you can't clear any exams, I will say. And it was not more like an bar exams, right?
Yeah.
Where they just concentrate on 5 to 6 particular subjects and you just have to clear it.
Actually, the surprising part is the paper that came in 2024 was majorly minor subject based. Like, there were about 4 to 5 passages from environmental law, but until 2023, there was hardly a passage on environmental law. So you could say there was a flip in the entire pattern. So when you're preparing for CLAT PG, just have it in mind that you expect the unexpected, because you can never know what the paper setters have in mind. So just be prepared for anything. Don't go with a specific mindset that these are the questions or these are the judgments that might come.
That's how a lawyer should be.
Yeah.
When he goes into a courtroom,
you should be prepared for
Yeah.
anything, right?
Right. Spoke about strategy. And the thing is resources. There are various lawyers, maybe in the rural area, maybe in the city area. The thing about resources, from where to study. Did you follow any, like, nowadays there is an academy, there is a physics wall or something like that? You have, did you took any coaching for the CLAT PG, or it was more like a self study, or how it was?
It was entirely self-study because I did not even have the time to
Right.
research about what is the best,
Coaching center.
any coaching institute or stuff. So it was majorly self-study because most of the resources were available online. There were a lot of videos on YouTube. So you can say probably 80% of my learning was from YouTube.
YouTube is the best.
So apart from that, I did take up a series of mock from a particular institution.
Any particular subject you faced difficulties, and how did you overcome?
Okay. So basically I was a little weak in the criminal aspect of it because this is the situation from my UG. Like the criminal laws, I'm a little weak from that section as such. But just because the particular section was I was finding it difficult, I did not spend too much time on it because I knew that my other consti or all these minor subjects like environmental law or tax, they were my strong suit. So I knew some questions would come up from that, and I wouldn't waste a lot of time from the criminal section of the paper. So I'm more or less like eliminated that so that I can focus on other things. So the thing is, you don't have to attend all the questions.
Is there a negative marking?
Yeah, there is negative marking of 0.25, 0.25 per question.
Okay.
So I had to just make sure that I focus on my strengths and let go of the things that I'm not good at.
Okay. So basically, you became master of some few particular subjects, which made you sail the boat.
I wouldn't call myself a master, but whatever basic understanding of the subject is, I just made sure I brushed it up and I was clear with the basic understanding of the subject.
Base is the ultimate.
Yeah.
How is the admission process at NLSIU? What are the formalities required? It's not just about eligibility, if there are any other formalities.
Okay. So the normal formalities are like you have to submit all the basic documents starting from your 10th grade to your 12th and your undergraduation. And if you are applying for the domicile category, you should have the domicile certificate for certain. The domicile certificate is either issued by the Tahsildar or they've given certain criteria, but then I had to like at least for NLS there was a condition that you had to submit 10 years study proof from institutions in Karnataka. That was the
school certificates here.
Yeah, so my study certificates from my schools that proof a proof that I've studied for 10 years in Karnataka. That was the proof for domicile. They did not ask for a domicile certificate, but it varies for each NLU, so it depends on that. So apart from this, basic identities like your Aadhaar card or PAN card, so
there's no other.
Pretty much it.
No big one. Is LLM worth it? As you have joined into LLM, you're pursuing LLM.
Yeah.
There are people who think about litigation is the best thing, not rid of LLM. There are other set of people who like we have to do masters, then we will go into litigation or corporate.
Right.
Everyone has their own choice, but what was yours?
So LLM is definitely worth it.
Please take a note.
That's what I believe, at least from my experience here from the past 1 month, because I see a lot of diverse backgrounds in my class itself. At least 50 to 60% of them are those who want to get into academics, because obviously masters is like their step to get into PhD and stuff. But I also see people who come from corporates. I also see people who come from a litigation background. I also see people who have taken a break for like 5-6 years. They're very much older and they're also in the class with me right now. So everybody has different goals, different aspirations. But when they all come together, it's like a community. It's like a place where you can intellectually connect with so many people with different backgrounds. It's very interesting to know how they think, what their view is on a particular thing. It's very interesting to get to know them And I think the community experience that NLS offers is the best there is. I think the intellectual community experience that I'm getting is the best takeaway from NLS for me.
Okay, it's more like a network. There is a good option for networking
Right.
also. I will term it as an intellectual unity in diversity.
You can call that.
That's interesting. So, any interesting people you have met, like?
Oh yes, I've met a lot of people. Like we communicate on a regular basis because we do have classes, and the system at NLS is very different because I am in the specialized course. I'm not in the general elective. I've taken my commercial specialization. So we have other elective concept as well. So in the electives, we sit in a class along with the 5-year LLB kids, the 3-year LLB kids, and in one of our mandatory courses in LLM, we sit with the PhD students as well. So you get to see a diverse crowd, and each single person's experience is very unique. It's very different, and they have a lot to bring onto the table. So the experience as a whole at NLS has been really good to me so far.
It's interesting to know, like you meet a lot of people that do it. There is no such barrier of 5 year, 3 year, and like you're in LLM, you have to be in such classes.
Right.
That's really nice. I really felt that a good thing. Okay, you spoke about commercial laws, LLM in commercial laws. Why only LLM? Why are you pursuing LLM in commercial laws? And also, how does curriculum look?
Okay. So I wanted to pursue the specialization thing because this year NLS is offering 4 specializations. One is the general specialization, one is the commercial law specialization, one is law and technology, and one more is criminal.
Okay.
So in the commercial aspect of it, since I had practiced a little bit of the company law matters, a little bit of arbitration, so all of this majorly fell under the category of commercial law, and I wanted to. My interest was more in those subjects, so I chose commercial law.
And how does the curriculum look like?
So the curriculum is very different for each specialization. Each course is designed in such a way that at least I wouldn't call it a specialization as such. In-depth knowledge of the subject is what I would say. I'm interested in those subjects, so I will have a better or deeper understanding of the subject. So I wouldn't call myself a specialization student. I would call myself a student with a little more understanding in that subject.
It's very much humble. Interesting. We will move forward. Okay. We were speaking about your schedule, hectic schedule, 2-hour classes. So please, our viewers should know what is NLSIU schedule looks like, because they should know before they enter. Okay, I have to face this.
So the thing is, NLS has this concept of not the number of classes, but the number of hours. So each classes have like certain criteria. Say the electives, we have a concept of electives and the mandatory courses that we have. So I have a mandatory course along with my core concentration, that is the commercial law, and 2 electives. So the electives will have about 40 hours each in the entire trimester. So again, NLS is a trimester system. It's not a semester concept. So trimester meaning you have very little time to catch up on your syllabus. So in the trimester, as soon as the syllabus starts, within no time you have a midterm, and by the time you even realize that the trimester is gone, you would have submitted so many response papers, research papers, class presentations, all of that. So it's a little bit hectic if you come from a traditional college where you are not exposed to regular or rigorous curriculum aspects of it. So if you are coming from a very, very conventional, conventional old law school, so it kind of becomes difficult for you to adjust to the curriculum because it's hectic. So, but then I think you'll get a hang of it within the first trimester. Is it?
So basically, the student who have enjoyed their 5 year, 3 year law school without any hectic schedule or any much hard work. Only they have it a smart work, maybe copying the assignment or it's a tough for them.
Yeah.
In the
And there's no concept of copying any assignments here
Yeah.
because all the submissions are on Turnitin AI portals. Like you cannot use AI no matter what. They have a very, very strict no AI, no plagiarism policy. So they do not encourage using of any AI tools as such. So all the submissions are on the Turnitin portal. So obviously, if you have used AI, your projects are automatically rejected.
Me personally, in my 5 year, fourth or fifth year, that time only ChatGPT was booming, and I have used.
All of us have used ChatGPT.
There was only free AI tool, I believe. Most people knew, well branded, well marketed also. But no AI in LLM for sure. But as a taken law, basically, AI is much bigger aspect of a tech. If you're not using AI, nowadays people say, if you're not using AI, in a longer period you will be removed, or you should know how to use. How do you feel like?
Okay, so I don't think that's true because AI as such should be a tool to enhance your knowledge, but AI shouldn't take over you, right? So you should just use it as a tool to enhance your skills and knowledge rather than using it as the only aspect to replace your skills, right?
Right.
So I look at AI as a supportive tool to my intellectual capacity, trying to help me, get a better perspective or a better idea onto a particular concept or a subject. That's it. It's a tool. It's nothing more than that.
Basically, you should not completely rely. Nowadays, the people are telling this brain rot. Yeah. Most of the people just, if there is a single question, they will not Google also.
Exactly.
They'll go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, or anything.
But that hinders your thinking,
yes,
right? If your thinking is limited to how do I write a prompt to AI, your thinking doesn't go beyond how do I address the question. Your creativity is hindered, your thinking capacity is hindered. So that is what makes you different from a normal student and an NLS student, right?
Definitely a difference. Scheduling stuff, very hectic. But how did you manage?
Okay, so to me personally, I did not find it like that hectic because given my experience in litigation, so it was quite easy navigating it because I was quite active in my UG as well. Like
I know.
So it was not that hard for me to get adjusted to the curriculum because I was already in that mindset of being okay with the with whatever that comes my way, right? Like the assignments as such. Obviously, the framework of the curriculum, the submissions, the deadlines are always on the stricter end because it's NLS Bangalore and it's an NLU, of course.
Yes.
The NLU experience is very different from a traditional college experience. I would definitely agree. I wouldn't say it was completely easy, but it was quite okay for me that I did not find it that difficult also. Given my work schedule from the past few years has also been very, very hectic. You know how it is in the litigation. So it is kind of the same way.
So basically, if a student who has done a 1 year litigation and he or she enters into an NLSIU, it will feel he will feel like it's very much normal.
It's easier for them. But given you are a student who immediately came out of the law school and you joined for your masters, they will find it a little difficult to adjust to the curriculum. But the teachers there are also very open and they are very encouraging of you to have a discussion with them in case you have any difficulties with the curriculum as such. So you can any day contact any of the faculties or the administrative department with regards to any issues that you have.
So it's no more like a UG teacher experience.
No. No,
there will be difference.
Yeah, of course. There's like a lot of difference because given I come from a traditional college, I personally love the environment as such in NLS. It gives me a sense of so much. There's so much freedom there. Like the students are so valued. Like their opinions are heard at least that experience I probably missed in my UG. I wouldn't say I've had a bad experience, but I think I'm having a better experience of the freedom and voicing out my opinions as such. And nobody would ever judge you there for anything that you are, no matter what your identity is, no matter where you come from, no matter what your rank is, no matter what you're saying in class. Nobody will judge you for anything. You are who you are with a unique mind of your own, and they will listen to you however you put it.
There is no wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing called as wrong there. Yes, it's just your opinion, and everybody respects it. So that's a good thing.
That's a really good thing. We'll say complete different experience from our college life.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like I should also join. The next question: what's the vibe inside NLSIU? As you have already mentioned, but yeah, it's more like a competitive or collaborative.
Okay. So initially, when I got into NLS, I was of this mindset that I'm going to meet a crowd that is so competitive, like throat on competition with each other. But no, that's not the case. Everybody's very nice to you. They have this collaborative approach. And NLS as such is very, very open to all kinds of platforms. Say they have gender inclusive communities, they have feminist communities. There are a lot of groups and what do you call it? There are a lot of committees as such. So there's a lot of inclusivity in the campus itself.
Okay, you can name in few communities. Have you joined personally?
No, I have not, because most of the LLM students there do not get the time for all this. I think it's mostly the LLB kids who are into the committees, the LLB students who are into the.
Obviously, they are kids.
Yeah, at least from my perspective, they are the LLB kids. But the LLB also has a very, very diverse crowd. There is, I know a lady who's about 50 years old, and she's in the 3-year LLB stream. They are very diverse in itself. They are very diverse though, but there's one about mental health. There's a committee on that. There's a committee for there's a committee for animal lovers. There's a dog community there. Not a dog community. I'm so sorry.
So basically, there are committees.
There are committees. There are a lot of committees. Yeah.
Whoever they have what kind of interest, they can join, provided they have time.
Yeah.
And not for LLM guys, only for 2 years.
No, LLM people
it's there, but you can't manage. Only if you have that extraordinary power to manage time, then
they can definitely go for
join the committee. Okay, you had mentioned, that there are NLSIU allotted hostels. Which you are compulsory, you have to be in that, something like that.
Yeah, initially, like they mentioned it was compulsory, but then they again gave an option for the Bangalore people to opt out.
Okay.
So that was something. So the thing is, the LLM students do not get the campus accommodation inside the campus. So they have tied up with 2 other PGs here. Now, FF and Olive, both are in RR Nagar, and they are about 6 kilometers from college. They provide shuttles as well from college. So currently we are.
So it's mandatory to be in the NLSIU hostel, or you can just be on.
No, if you are, you can opt out though. If you have other ways of accommodation.
I thought it was mandatory and you have to.
Right. Initially, I think they had come up with that, but then they again gave the option.
Relaxation.
Yeah.
Every student, whoever joins the college after graduating, thinks about one job, placements. How does NLU give you any placement offer? There are firms or companies.
There are a good number of placements that happen at NLS. I'm not sure if that's on par with other NLUs, because NLS Bangalore is not particularly famous for its placements, if you know by now. It has a decent amount of placements. I wouldn't say, 100%, I wouldn't claim that, but there are a good number of placements. There are. Yeah, there's a separate team that there is. But the thing is, at least for the LLM batch, most of them want to get into academics, right? So I've seen my seniors who have gotten into certain colleges that they wanted to, certain think tanks that they wanted to work with. There are placements that has happened before as well. But I think the placements are majorly active for the undergraduate kids and the 3-year LLB, because the firms that come in also prefer the 5-year kids.
Why?
Because obviously they've spent 5 years of their life at NLS, and they are obviously considered on a not a higher note. They're considered, they would, I don't know, the firms just prefer them over the other kids.
I think when you have completed masters, you have a master degree along with your bachelor, master students should be preferred for a job.
Right. But the thing is, people who are in their masters already have a sense of where they want to be. So I feel the tag that you carry or the experience that you carry, you
is good enough to go.
You can take yourself to any door that you want. So I think that is one thing that NLS offers in itself. Apart from that, there are placements that happen as such. So you can definitely, we can definitely sit through them and then figure out if we want to, go through with the placements on.
There are student exchange programs run by
Yeah.
elite institution. NLSIU is one of them. So do they have any student exchange program?
Oh yes, they do have a student exchange program from the NLS. Students from abroad, like other foreign universities, do come into NLS, and students from here do go to other universities to study as well. I made friend with a foreign exchange student in one of my elective. So she is from the Netherlands. So she is here for a brief 1-year period, and then she will have to go back to her university. The exchange program is more on the technical aspect of it, but there's a program that exists there.
Basically, not all the 3 year students will be. Basically, LLM students will not be opting.
No, because we don't have that option. LLM students do not have the
only 3 years or 5 years.
3-year and 5-year course, there is an option, and I think there was there were certain criteria. They have certain eligibility criteria and things that they're supposed to comply with. Only then you can probably apply for the student exchange. Right.
So guys, if you are joining for 3 years or 5-year course, you may get a chance to go into any country, whatever NLSIU has tied up with. Okay, pretty much we have covered the NLSIU CLAT PG. But is there anything which only NLSIU students knows and no one knows, other than if he reads an article or if he reads some any other YouTube video, also he will not get to know about NLSIU. But as a student, something unique.
We have this concept of bidding for the subjects. So basically, I don't think that this is there in any other NLU. If there is, I might be wrong, but I think this is exclusive to NLS again, NLS Bangalore. So they have this concept of bidding, wherein they give you certain points and you can bid for the electives. So the electives are, like I told you, we sit with people from 3-year LLB, the 5-year LLB as well. So this year at least, we received a list of 45 electives all across, for all the batches across, and then you can bid on a particular elective for a certain number of points if you want that subject. That is how it works. So the bidding happens very fast, within seconds. You have to make sure you have all the prior preparation to get the subject that you want. So basically, everything is out of your interest. Nobody can force you into something. If you want it so badly, then you'll definitely work for it and you'll get it. So that is one concept.
How does the bidding work?
So the thing is, at least for us this year, we did not have bidding because this year, as I'm not sure if you're aware of it, there was a long due case against the consortium, because of which our results were delayed for the longest period. So because of which we had to wait till the last moment. Our college was supposed to start a little early, but then the admission process, all of that took place in a very less period of time. So we got very less time. So they did not have bidding this trimester for us. They came up with a random lottery allotment system, which was still like okay-ish, decent, I would say.
Okay.
But the bidding is much more interesting
and democratic.
And you will be accountable for your actions, so you cannot blame anybody else. So now you would have a thought, oh my god, they gave me this elective and stuff, but I think that's okay. But I think the elective concept is one such thing that's that might be exclusive to NLS students.
That's a really interesting thing to know. I have never read about this in any article while researching for this also. So basically, it's not about just getting into NLSIU, but also living the life. If you are watching this video till now and thinking about preparing CLAT PG and joining NLSIU, you can rewind this again and make a note of it. Now we will move forward with our next segment, the Law Gardener Bar Exam. Madhura, I know you have cleared UG exams, All India Bar Exam, CLAT PG exam, but there is one more, Law Gardener Bar Exam. I'm not sure how this will help once you clear for your professional career life, but I'm sure maybe for internet reputation, it may help.
Right.
First question, CLAT PG prep, Barracks or YouTube?
Barracks.
One subject you wish never existed in law school. Rapid fire.
I like all the subjects.
Okay. Next question. First thing you Google after receiving a judgment copy.
Summary of the judgment copy. But you don't get it.
NLSIU campus or your undergrad college campus.
Any day NLS.
Juries or constitutional law? Who's the real villain?
I think jurists.
Interesting. Drafting memos or arguing in court?
What I would prefer,
Yeah.
arguing. Any
Arguing. I'm saying, I remember it. You used to argue in college also.
Oh, dude, I used to do that a lot.
Worst excuse you will give to skip a client call?
Oh, I was in a court. Argument. I'm so sorry, I didn't see the call.
Nice. Suits or jolly LLB?
Suits any day.
One legal phrase that sounds smarter than it is.
Quid pro quo.
This is one phrase everyone will know.
Yeah.
How many WhatsApp law groups are muted on your phone right now?
About 15 easily.
Okay. Legal internship. Siphon is a joke or reality?
A joke. That's a given.
On a scale of 1 to 420, how messy was your first court visit?
1 to 420. Probably more
Section
than
420.
probably give it more than 420.
Okay.
I was lost on my first day, literally.
Oh my god. Corporate law, passion or paycheck?
Paycheck.
Honest answer. The most overrated thing about NLSIU.
There's nothing overrated about NLS. Everything NLS is NLS for a reason. At least that's been my experience so
Okay,
far.
what's the underrated?
The NLS experience in itself, probably.
It's underrated.
I think so. Is it? Or is it not? Okay, wait, no. Does that sound my answer, please? I don't know. I don't know what's underrated though. And I don't think there's anything underrated
Okay,
in
there
NLS.
will be something which people doesn't value.
People don't value.
Everything.
No, they do. Because,
Okay, there is nothing such as underrated.
yeah, because everybody sees NLS like there, right?
So basically everything is overrated.
Overrated, I wouldn't say. NLS is there for
Normal.
wherever it is for a reason. So I feel it's there.
Okay. Bangalore weather or NLS library air condition?
NLS library any day. The environment, oh my god, I have to tell you this. The library experiences in NLS is probably one of the best in the world. They have a huge amount of access to a lot of online journals, websites, ebooks, catalogs, physical access to books. Probably one of the best libraries. And any given day in NLS, probably at 10 p.m. also. By the way, it's open till 12 p.m. every day. 12 a.m. every day. Sorry. Any given point of time, you just go into the library. There'll be about 50 to 100 kids just on their laptops with their books, studying all the time. So it's a wonderful experience. The environment it gives you makes you want to study
There's
more.
a good vibe also to study there.
And you feel like studying there. So if I want to get my work done or if I want to study something, that's my place.
It's more like a Starbucks.
I know, but there's no food items allowed there. So
Bad. Okay. If NLS had a reality show, what would it be called?
experience with NLS.
Okay. I'm not sure, but yeah, NLS senior, silent assassins or over-friendly philosophers.
NLS seniors. I think over-friendly because they'll have a lot of preach about it because they've graduated from NLS.
Professor you'd never want to be on the wrong side of.
At NLS, this is one good thing about NLS. You will never find a professor who's like biased or who's partial with you. They have a very, very good policy about treating all the students very equally. No
Like
matter what
equality.
background you come from, no matter what's your identity, no matter the kind of dress you wear, nothing matters. And in your traditional colleges,
Yeah.
you would have been like,
Definitely.
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We
They-
can't use our free speech here.
Exactly. They don't judge you for anything as such.
Great. Okay. If CLAT PG was a person, what would you say to them today?
Please be predictable. Because it's the most unpredictable exam.
Okay, that's a wrap, Madhura. You have officially cleared Law Gardener bar exam. I don't know how it will use, but please, our viewers, I know it is useful for you. We'll move to the next segment. Lawyer's red flag. I used to spill some courtroom tea. You know that when you're working, you develop a sixth sense. You just
Right.
observe which is green flag, red flag, no more just dating apps. You know where. So there are 3 questions. In the client, what are the red flags do you see? Immediately and take a step back.
Under explaining. So when a client comes with a brief, they do not give you all the details. So when a client is explaining, you can know instantly that there is something in between the line that they're not talking about. And then you ask them, and then they'll be like, oh no, nothing like that. We just found this to be convenient, so we went with this. So this is the biggest red flag, and you will know immediately that the client has done something and they're not revealing it to you. That's very bad because if you know, like normally you are supposed to, you should never lie to your doctor or your lawyer, right? So we will obviously get to know. So it's better you be honest in the beginning so that it's easier for us to work with you and for you.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest.
Otherwise, they only have to face the repercussions.
Yeah, because it becomes difficult later, right?
Yes.
They deny something for like the longest period, and then we go with that conception, and then later it turns up ugly because the other party is not that sweet to you always. No party is ever sweet to you, right? So they end up doing something or twisting the reality that these people have missed telling us. That becomes a big problem.
I get it. Okay, any red flag inside the courtroom or legal ecosystem, how the journey is, how the law works.
Right. The opposite lawyer is being too friendly.
Okay, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag, at least to me, because that has been my experience. The opposite lawyer is only very friendly with you if they want to know something from you related to the case.
They want to spill the beans.
Right. So sometimes it so happens that when you're fresh in the field and they look at you as a fresher and they're like, oh, it's fine, she has very limited experience. Let's see what I can get from her. And then they end up trying to talk, and then initially you wouldn't know, you're just trying to make a conversation, and in that conversation you end up talking about your work or the case. But any smart person wouldn't give out all the details, but if you are really in the field, not everybody would be so thoughtful while they're talking. So I think being careful while being around with lawyers from the opposite side would always help.
That's right. Otherwise you have to you can spill out some secrets. Which
that so happens you do it unintentionally also.
Yeah, right. So you heard it. Red flags are not just for dating apps. There are
lawyers.
Yeah. Okay. We will move to the next segment. Lawyer starter pack. Imagine you are handing over legal survivor kit to young law student yourself. What will you do? What you will tell to the Madhura who just joining the law or who's thinking about law? 3 things you will tell to your younger self before joining.
Okay. It's going to be hard, but you can do it. Never give up, because I've thought about 1,000 times to just give up on the profession.
I guess everyone thinks.
Yeah, obviously. Every day I wake up and I'm like,
why?
Should I probably quit my job? So there will be situations when you'll have to give up, but never give up. Be confident no matter what. because there will be people who are always better than you. There will be people who are probably not on par with you. You are who you are, and you are the best there is. So be confident always.
So hard work, confident, and second one was
Never give up.
never give up. So yeah, you have seen along with the bare acts and along with the courtroom experience, you need to do hard work and never give up policy in your life. We will move to the next segment, courtroom confession. In this segment, you have to spill out what was the most messiest thing or cringe or worst or best thing you did in your courtroom.
Okay. So worst experience I would say was I was taking up a check bounce matter, I remember, and the other counsel, the opposite counsel, was very, very old. And obviously, when the person is old, you tend to be very respectful to the person given their
Experience
and their age. But the given he was old, he was so arrogant, very rude, and very, very unprofessional. So while I was making my submissions in the court, he interrupted me a lot of times, and he did not even look at me as a lawyer. He was just looking at me as some junior who's just there. Not even a junior. He did not even acknowledge my presence. He was cutting me down multiple times. He did not let me talk. He was, I was very uncomfortable there. And then the judge also was put in a place to take the matter in such a way that it favored them, because the person is obviously older and he's, age matters. Face card also matters in litigation, if you know that. Seniority matters no matter what. So the situation just made me very unsafe, very uncomfortable. I was not okay with it, and I did not appear for that matter post that. So that's one of the experiences that I've had in the courtroom. It's not nice to feel that way, right? But then you can't remedy it, because you cannot have a conversation with somebody who don't understand what they're doing. And given their age, you can't really have a word with people like that. So I think it's okay. Everybody will have to face this in litigation. So I think this is
That's true. But senior lawyers who are very well experienced in the bar, they should also understand that
right.
They should not see those juniors as like, oh, what's
right.
doing.
There are really, really good people as well, but there's always two sides, right?
There are good and bad things.
Exactly. So this is one such.
Okay, we won't judge what happened, but I guess internet will definitely judge this whole experience.
It happens. And I think people should know.
Yeah, people should know the bad reality, harsh reality of the courtroom. Okay, we had a courtroom experience. Now it's about college experience. First year experience. Anything which you want to share, like it was like, oh my god, yeah, I was very happy with the thing with what happened with you in your college.
In my UG?
Yeah, first year, particularly. Baby lawyer or baby law student.
Okay. I think when I became this because I don't have any memories from the first year.
There were so many events.
And I did. The events that came up later. I was very active in academics and extracurriculars as well. But a lot of my friends made fun of me for that, because I was the CR, and you know how the CR has looked at. But I really enjoyed the position. I really enjoyed the attention.
Do you feel there was some power, or no? You feel like
no, there was. At UG, it's definitely a power. I feel like. For now, if you give me the position also, I'll be like, no, I don't want it. But UG, given you right out of college, it feels like a leadership position, and I really enjoyed it.
You learn a lot of leadership qualities.
And I was there for 2 years, and then it changed. So I was okay with taking it up later as well, but then I was like, okay.
You were with Chandan, right? Yeah. That time. Nice. Let's move forward to the next segment. This is Judgment Day. So imagine, Madhura, you are Justice Madhura Aradhya of Supreme Court of Opinion. Okay. You know, there are so many things going on right now. Maybe language issue, maybe corruption in the legal judiciary itself, Delhi High Court thing, or any other legal stuff. If there is anything, you have to give a judgment today based on the news right now, what would it be and what on which case?
I would probably want to address something on the nepotism aspect.
Okay, please.
That's the first thing that's coming to my head, though. Like, I don't know how I would regulate it or, channelize it, but some initiative to reduce the nepotism.
Resolution.
Yeah, because I am not an advocate and I know how that feels, especially in the field. So I would do something about it. And then one good thing in NLS is there are like negligible amount of nepo kids. 99% of them come on their merit, and everybody there are like they're there on their own.
Okay.
No background in the family, no fancy lawyer.
No references.
Yeah, no references, no anything as such. I have 3 gen, I'm a 3rd gen lawyer, nothing like that.
3.0. Okay, that's interesting. Now, let's come to reality. Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gavai, right?
Mhm.
Suppose you are CJI of India. As a CJI, you have a lot of power, obviously. Something which you will do and people should follow as a CJI. What you will do?
If I were the CJI, I don't think anything that I do would strictly be enforceable on anybody else, because I'm just at such a position that I can help or try to take decisions on certain matters that have a lot of impact and importance in the society. But I don't think I have so much power, and I don't think people or the system in itself gives so much power to the judge that just because one say of yours can change everything. You know how the system is so interdependent in itself, like dependent on the lawmakers, dependent on the executive, dependent on the parliament. So I don't think my action as an individual would do any impactful change in the society as such.
If you're following any current affairs right now, if there is any interesting case you have read and you want to judge that in some different way the current justices are doing, what will be there?
No, I don't think so, because I'm not even at their level. And what they're doing, at least they are doing it at their best to what they can do, because I'm nobody to even comment on what they're doing, because I am nowhere towards where they are.
You can enjoy your free speech anyways.
No, I didn't change anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. You're happy with how the system is working.
Because it's easier said than done, right? A lot of people can say, oh my, I would change this, I would change that, but it's not that easy to change this or that. Only people who know the ground reality in law, they will never come up and say, oh, I will curb corruption in the society. You would never come up with statements like that, because you know how the reality is. It doesn't work that way.
Wasn't Katni or Karni mein difference? Basically, what do you say and what do you do? There's a lot of difference.
Exactly.
All right, Madhura. Before we close the courtroom, we want you to give something valuable, more valuable. We have this called lawyer's shelf. Recommend one book, article, or a judgment which everyone should read. Maybe a law student, lawyer, or any other LLM student.
I think Beyond the Courtroom by Fali S. Nariman sir is one of the excellent books that there is about the field of law and about courtroom ethics that every law student should read at least once in their lifetime.
So there's a surprise I told you in the very beginning to our audience. So all the viewers, whoever comment the book name and subscribe and like this video, will get a chance to get this book at your doorsteps, and probably signed by Madhura also. So yeah, the book, you will get a book at your doorsteps. There is a provisional clause. There should be at least 100 comments or 100 participants. We will pick a one lucky winner who will get this book. Only after we get 100 comments or 100 participants. This is a provisional clause. You just have to comment the book name, and this book will be delivered to your doorsteps. For everyone who are watching Law Garden from past 3-4 years, I will say, you know that from past 2.5 to 3 years, I was not very much active, but this year 2025, I have been making videos, content for you guys. There is a new version, Law Gardener 2.0. We are changing it completely. There will be new topics, new guests like Madhura who will be spelling out beings, who will be sharing your knowledge. Now, first, let's reveal our new logo, Law Gardener. Same tagline, let's plant the seeds of law. That's my motto. And the new series, let's talk everything. So, this is not limited to law, this is beyond law. There are various guests lined up. You just have to subscribe it. So, as a token of appreciation to our guests who have joined our very first episode, I would like to give this cup to them. Madhura, please have this. And this cup says "Born to Argue," and I guess this obviously with the Madhura's personal traits, I guess personality traits.
I wish you grow to more heights and achieve whatever you dream of. Thank you for having me here, and let us all plant the seeds of law.
And that's a wrap on the very first episode of Let's Talk Everything. We spoke about NLSIU live eligibility criteria, how to prepare for CLAT PG mock tests, and various things. To everyone watching, if you are a confused law student, tired lawyer, or thinking about pursuing LLM or preparing for CLAT PG, I hope this episode give you clarity, tips, courage, and maybe reason to trust your instincts and deal with your chaos. यह कोर्टरूम बंद हो रहा है पर कॉन्वर्सेशन अभी शुरू हुआ है. And do not forget to like this video, share to your peers, professors, students, and don't forget to subscribe for such more insightful conversation. This is Nirmal Kumar Jain, your law gardener, signing off from Let's Talk Everything.
Until next time, the court is adjourned.